Memories. Memories. Yeah. Memories. Memories.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the moment you've all been waiting for, the grand finals for the for the Open Division 4 console. This is a matchup between Red Team and MME Dive. And well, if you have been following along throughout the playoffs, this is a rematch from the winners finals, as we can take a look at that bracket here. But by the way, I'm Joker's Ransom. He's too tryhard, right? But here's that bracket, and well, that winners final matchup, Ray, was kind of a banger. 6 maps, even though it's 3-2.
Yeah, it was an incredible matchup, and Red Team ended up getting that dub, sending MME down to losers bracket. But we saw last week on stream, MME absolutely dominated Blue Team. So now they get to rematch in the grand finals, hoping for that sweet, sweet revenge. We could be in for we might be in for an 8-mapper with the way the last one went.
Yeah, it could definitely be that way. As we're going to take a quick look here at the lineups for these teams. Red Team is going to be the one we're going to be looking at, as they are the winners finals mover into things. Hey, I'm Zero and Hopeful on that DPS line. Worth, Shatter, Worth, whatever you want to call him, on that tank roll, manning it down for Red Team. And then that support line, Ricky and Ryan Guy, rounding it out for Red Team. Oh my goodness, this is just the who's who of console watch, and I'm excited to see them take on MME Dive here, Ray.
Yeah, we know all of these players so well. So with that, let's go ahead and bring you the MME roster. We got Bonnie. Captain Jack has been that prolific tracer players in console for so long. Leo, Evergreen, and IQ Mighty. Like you mentioned, this is the who's of console watch. And to see them go at it in the grand finals like this, it just, it's amazing. Tickles the fancy, if you will.
It really does. It really does. As we do have our first map of the afternoon or evening, if you're coming over from us from the pond. We've got Antarctic Peninsula to start things off here.
Should be, a lot of brawls specifically. This was the map pick of Red Team, since they're the ones who were waiting for that for MME in the grand finals. But we've talked about it before on stream. It's a brawl slugfest. The only exceptions is you might see a Winston or two here or there, but it's probably Ramatras and Reinhardt's just going at it in fury.
Yeah, as we are going to come in here,
I can't see it.
We're about to go into this. I believe we're just waiting to get the readies. We have, obviously, since this is a console finals, we do not have, we have to have, like the, we have to have the hand cams available for them. So, obviously, no one's cheating. Make things, everything fair. And I believe we are almost ready to go into that game lobby any second here now. It's just, I believe we are getting the readies coming soon.
Yeah, both of these teams being so talented and so prolific and so well known, it's going to make this just an amazing match. Can Red Team continue to, when you think about console watch, you think the Blue Team and their variation of Red Team and stuff like that, but they have absolutely dominated, and they tend to be, the big dogs, the winners of all these tournaments constantly. Can MME Dive take them down? Because they've always been the prolific EU team, always taking those dubs. But now we see the NA and the EU worlds colliding, and who's going to take this ultimately home.
Yeah, as we are loaded into the loading into Antarctic, I believe this is labs here, Ray, if I'm not mistaken.
No, this is Icebreaker.
Oh, you're right. It is Icebreaker.
As we start taking a look at some of these compositions, I mean, I don't want to take anything too seriously. They're still thinking about it. But as we mentioned, we're probably going to be seeing Brawl. I don't think Wrecking Ball would be the worst thing we could possibly see, especially if they know Red Team wants, or if Red Team wanted to play the Reinhardt. Wrecking Ball's a good counter. But as I say that, the names are definitely off, as Red Team is the one playing the Junker Queen composition, and MME Dive is on the Reinhardt. So, I mean, again, it's good. They're all versions of Brawl. It's all about getting this Reaper into the face of this Reinhardt for Red Team.
Yeah, it really is, as Red Team is in the red currently. We're trying to get that fixed for you here any second now, but Worth is going to go down early on in this fight. Not really looking too good for them to start things off, as now we've got things all sorted out, but as MME Dive start off strong.
Yeah, and Bonnie's already halfway to that Reinhardt Earth Shatter, so very dominant, using that speed boost to their advantage. And, you know, Captain Jack is just being a nuisance on this Tracer and the backline constantly. So Red Team has to be weary of that. And they're just, as it sits, they didn't get themselves in position to take full advantage of this Reaper, and they got to do that.
They really do, as they're going to come in for the rotation here. Zero trying to get in the face of everyone, but Hopeful's going to be the one to go down early on. They are going to trade it back, though. Evergreen has been fallen, and this is just still not looking good, though. Not enough coming out from Red Team right now.
It really isn't, and they're really starting to struggle. I'm really surprised to see them pulling out the Junker Queen like this. I feel like Earthshatter is such a prolific Reinhardt, so I'm really just shocked to not see them pulling this out, as this Junker Queen is just struggling to find the value right now.
Yeah, it's not working too well. Maybe things can change when we head into this next fight. Worth almost up to a rampage here, which could really open things up. But Bonnie also is going to come out with a shatter coming down, knocking down a couple as they're going to come through yet again. MME Dive is just on a tear currently.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joker, but I don't think Red Team has used a single ultimate in this fight, this map. So, and hey, I'm Zero and Hopeful are just now building up to their ult. It's taken them this long. We're already on final fight territory. Not only does Red Team have to win this fight, but they cannot afford to throw all their ultimates in. They have to be judicious.
Yeah, they're gonna come in here early on. They're gonna use that the Kitsune Rush and the Sound Barrier and the Rampage and everything. Throw the kitchen sink at them, actually. Red Team have to win this fight, but at the cost of their entire ultimate bank. They get the point in their favor.
You know, huge mistake from Red Team. They should not have thrown all 5 ultimates into the fight like that. To me, that's showing they have a little bit of poor communication right now between their team. They traded 5 of their ultimates, and all MME did was use their Sound Barrier. They're going to come back with an overclock from Leo, and he is just going to have free reign. Nothing Red Team can do about it except try and kite away from it.
They've got to figure something out here. They're going to use the commanding shout from Worth to try to get into the fray here, but MME Dive is already able to just take the point back. They do get that pick onto Captain Jack, though, but they need to now push in. They get there in time. The commanding shout comes through, but everything goes into the favor of MME Dive to start things off as Leo goes wild.
And that's just unfortunately what happens when you throw every single ultimate just to take the point back. You have absolutely nothing to work with from here on out. MME Dive had a couple ultimates to come into the fight with, earned some throughout the fight, and then just stormwalled all the way with the momentum through. So, I mean, sometimes Overwatch boils down to, I have ultimates, you don't, I win, haha. And that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, it really did. It really did. As now we see the change coming in. Worth over to the Ryan guy. Not Ryan guy. Reinhardt. Ryan guy is in the lobby, but it's Reinhardt coming in for Worth Shatter here.
Listen, Worth Shatter's a little bit of a Ryan guy himself. He's a very much a Ryan enjoyer. And this is what I wanted to see. Like I mentioned, Worth is a very good Ryan player. So, you know, now we get to see that on full display as Z already takes on IQ
Yeah, IQ already out, but Zero's gonna follow quickly afterwards. It is still on the up and up for Red Team. They are on the point and, well, collecting the names that they need to start things off and get this point currently under their favor.
Yeah, looking at this team compositions, one thing you always like to think about when there's a Tracer and a Tracer, you know, the constant Tracer duel. But what we saw in that first fight was Captain Jack going up against Hey I'm Zero, trying to get in his face and limit his sight lines.
Yeah, but, ooh, no, that's not what you wanted to see. And now everything is going to crumble around Red Team because they lost to Ricky early on. They are going to try to change things back. They do take IQ out of the fight, but there's just not enough sustain for Red Team to keep a hold of the point.
As that's a quick turnaround, and that's kind of the value of that Sojourn specifically, is being able to build up to those railgun shots and getting those clicks and getting those kills. And Leo is putting it on full displays. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Captain Jack, but they cannot find the kill.
They cannot currently find that kill. The pulse bomb coming out, but, well, there is the kill that was necessary. Hey, I'm Zero taking out Captain Jack, and now things can ingress, or start, Red Team can start to ingress here as the Shatter comes out from Worth, taking them all down, collecting the point back into the favor of Red Team.
Yeah, as we see very quick point takebacks from both teams after kind of, you know, struggling to begin with, but very nicely played by Red Team. This is what we need to see from Hey I'm Zero, is when Captain Jack comes on this Tracer. Hanzo can be very threatening to a Tracer because one shot and Tracer's pretty much dead. So, but you got to hit those shots, and Hey I'm Zero was able to do that fight.
Yeah, as they now have to come into this here. They've got the Shatter online from Bonnie, but the Dragon Strike is going to be the one to start things off from Zero. But, well, the Shatter's all that MME dive need, as well as that sound barrier. But it knocks them all on the ground and continuing to be this just back and forth round of labs.
Yeah, as we come into this next fight, we've seen exchanges and these points going back and forth. Is because one team has always had the ultimate advantage coming in these fights. What's interesting about this next fight is it's going to be extremely neutral, extremely dry, all things for intensive purposes. We got Overclock versus Sound Bear. Those should pretty much nullify each other.
It really should. It really should. As Worth is going to start off with another nice pick onto Evergreen. Make it a double now for Red Team as they're able to come quickly back and keep the point in their favor, not losing too much percentage to MME Dive.
And as we draw closer and closer to this final fight territory, Joker, we got a head-to-head matchup on our hands. Captain Jack and Hopeful both have the pulse bomb in their pocket. Which Tracer comes through bigger for their team in this moment? Will Captain Jack send MME Dive to 1-0 lead, or does Hopeful force some map?
Well, the Shattering's gonna start things off though from Worth, and well, it's worth all the pieces that they needed as they're gonna be able to really open things up as Bonnie is so low, gonna go down to Worth in the end, as this should be Red Team tying up the rounds on Antarctica.
Whew, this is what we expected coming out of both of these teams. And again, in my head, I'm just like, what if Red Team would have played Reinhardt on that first map? Are we in a whole different story here? Because, you know, that was 100 to 56. And, you know, that Drunker Queen just continued to struggle as we now head into, do not remember what this last one is called. It is Icebreaker and Labs, but I don't remember what this one's called, to be honest. Sub-levels, thank you. Heading into sub-levels, I don't expect any swaps. I mean, if you've been playing Reinhardt this whole time, if you're MME Dive, you're going to continue to play it. And now that Red Team's made this adaptation, we're just, like I said, the likeliness of us seeing Reinhardt or Ramacho is going to be very high. And we've seen that these teams are just favoring the Reinhardt.
Yeah, they definitely are, and it's working out well.
Ooh.
Leo, though, on the Symmetra here, but they don't get to this crucial engagement any quicker than Red Team does as they start out. They're all separated currently, but they're forcing them back thanks to the Symmetra beam of Leo at the moment. But still, it hasn't led to any picks. They are waiting this out as Captain Jack is going to go down into the back line from Hopeful. As now things look good for Red Team. They are going to start the capture and get out Evergreen. They're just going to have to back up, reset or die from MME.
Yeah, I think that's just a really smart positional awareness from Red Team, knowing that MME Dive is playing this Symmetra, and because that beam forced you back and Symmetra's able to set up on the high ground, Red Team's like, we're not gonna push the high ground against a Symmetra. We'll just go low ground, and then our Tracer Hopeful wins out the duel against Captain Jack, and then from there on we're able to then aggress and take our stronghold position.
Look at that. Ricky's already up to the Ant Matrix. That's not that cool, but I mean, when you look at Mighty's ultimate percentage, it's kind of a lot different for them. But Worth is gonna go down though, so things might be a little bit more precarious for Red Team here. But well, maybe that was the case. But then Hopeful went on a tangent, finding 3 picks for Red Team.
Yeah, Hopeful has found the juice, has found that secret sauce, and he is absolutely dominating on the Tracer. And that's going to be a huge, huge boom for Red Team. After dropping that first map, to now see Hopeful coming in and absolutely dominating on the Tracer, it just puts so much momentum.
As the Dragon Strike comes out and it already takes out Leo. Captain Jack was not able to get there in time to take Zero out of the fight. They do find them in the end. The Shatter coming out, gonna just connect to the wall. Worth is so low at the moment. They are gonna get the healing, but they are still not that high up as Mighty's gonna be able to take them out in the end. Now things are back into the favor of MME Dive. They've got everything they need. They've got their point hold now ready to start.
They do, but I mean, look at this. Red Team's stall job has just been incredible. They got it all the way to 99. All they have to do is win a singular fight. The good thing for MME Dive, you have a couple ultimates. You're going to be able to hold this for a little bit longer. Red Team's going to have to take a couple dry fights, build up to a couple key ultimates, and then they'll be able to take this. But MME Dive's going to have to try and win these fights with as very little ult engagement as possible.
Worth is so low here, but that's a crucial pick. Evergreen had sound barrier. Zero on the flank might have just won them this round. They've got to hold on though. They did lose Zero in the process, and now they're gonna lose Worth as well. This is not what should have happened for Red Team, as they now have to reset yet again.
That was just devastating, especially committing that amplification matrix into that fight. I get that you're up 1 and you just were not in a strong position to be able to take that, especially with all the pressure that was being put down onto Worth.
Yeah, as now they are gonna go here. They've got this pulse bomb from Hopeful, looking for the duel with Captain Jack, but, well, there goes Captain Jack. The arrow took him out of this early on, as there's a immortality field gone as well. The sound barrier and the photon barrier popped already from MME Dive, but they haven't really found anything to go off of all the ultimates they've used already in this fight. Hopeful still low though and gonna go down. They are buying themselves more and more time. If they can get out the Shatter or the Pulse Bomb, that would be huge, but that's not gonna be the case. This is looking a little bit rough now, as Red Team not too assured to win this round.
They are not assured to win this round, and they're going to have to get back quickly. Joker, the one good thing for Red Team, they got 2 ultimates online to match MME's Dive 2 ultimates, but Ricky and Ryan Guy have to build to these ultimates to secure the victory.
That's huge, 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 huge. Leo going down early on. They've got the pick with the Dragon Strike, and now they can come in. The Shatter comes through. The Pulse Bomb is there, though, as the Sound Barrier comes just in time from Ryan Guy, as everything going into the favor of Red Teams. The overtime bar ticking away. IQ Mighty can only touch for so long as red team take map number 1.
And that was the key to the victory. I talked about it. They were on a timer. Both Ricky and Ryan Guy needed to build up to the amplification matrix and sound barrier. The sound barrier at the bottom line, they needed that sustain, and it came in at the exact right time and came through huge for red team. And it's a big reason why they're up 1-0 in the series now. And man, Hopeful on this Tracer has just been incredible.
He really has. I mean, he's just been unstoppable here, as and Captain Jap can't really do anything to stop him right now. You're talking about how Jack is a very good Tracer in their own right, but Hopeful is just making them look maybe pretty much kind of like they're a silver player. They're kind of looking like me right now, Ray.
I don't know if I'd go that far,
true,
but
true. That is a very steep bar.
As like I said, 1-0. Map 2 is going to be hybrid. I believe we have that map pick, and we do. It is the map pick of MME. We're going to Kings Row, and I don't think that's a shocker to either of us here.
Yeah, it does currently look like we're on the winter variant of it, which is a no-go. But other than that, I mean, it is going to be Kings Row. We're gonna get that fixed up because I mean, there. If you didn't know, Ray and chat, Kings Row winter variant does actually change the map a little bit. In some ways because of the snow drifts, and it kind of makes it it's very weird actually.
I didn't know that.
That's why you can't actually use it in like competitive sense, competitive games, because the snow drifts allow you to take more different angles, I believe is what I was told. I don't remember fully. I just remember it's a no-go when you play in competitive games.
Very interesting. As the other interesting point I was thinking of, not that, MME is not very proficient at these brawls and Reinhardt's, they've been fantastic. But one thing I have thought about when I think about MME is they are a very good Winston-based team as well. Bonnie's incredible on that Winston. So I thought, maybe you take, red team to a map where Winston might be the key. Like maybe you go to Hollywood or something, and maybe you can be more proficient at that composition. But I'm not going to doubt any team. They feel good about the brawl. They are an EU team, and that tends to be, the end-all be-all is they love their brawl. So I'm not going to doubt them here.
I'm not either. But, well, obviously we can't really talk about what red team's doing at the moment just because, they're on the attack right now. But, hey, we'll take a look at MME Dive, and, well, again, not really changing anything up here.
I'm a little surprised about that, especially coming to Kings. When I think of Kings Row, I think Hanzo tends to be a really good pick, and we've seen that from Red Team on Antarctic, and it actually worked very well for Ham Zero. May is also a very strong pick on this map, but I mean, they're going to fall back on what they're good at. Captain Jack is an amazing Tracer. Leo really hits those rail shots on that Sojourn, so I mean, play what you are best at. That's what got you here to the grand finals.
They've already lost the Leo as well. This is not the way that MME Dive would have liked to have start things off with, as now they don't have that sustained damage coming in from that Sojourn, as Zero finding more picks. Bonnie kind of out of position. They're still there with their supports, but, well, the supports are going to get their heads clicked in, as this is not looking too hot for MME at the moment.
Not looking too hot for MME, but hey, I'm Zero. Was feeling himself a little too much there. Felt like Icarus flying too close to the Reinhardt and got his wings clipped and got killed there. But, I mean, Ham Zero had already set the team up for the victory there. So, I mean, if it don't break, it wasn't the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, as they look to start things. Oh, okay. Hopeful just comes in with the back, takes out Captain Jack after the one clip. The shatter does come through from Bonnie. Take Worth out of the fight with the combination of the disruptor shot from Leo. But still, that might be not where you wanted to use that shatter there, Ray.
Yeah, I mean, it's what a big shatter from Worth!
Right into the face of Bonnie, knocking down everyone. They do find Ricky in the end, but it's not enough to keep things going for MME.
That is like the ultimate like Reinhardt dominating moment. I know when I'm playing tank and I play Reinhardt, if I can just get on top of a Reinhardt and shatter on him to the back of his team, I'm just like, yeah, I just dominated.
Yeah.
And that's what Worth did.
Pretty much. They do, however, have some consolation prizes. They do have the ultimate advantage going into that fight, and well, it's going to work into their favor. They come in using just the Amp Matrix from IQ Mighty and get everything they need in the end to start their hold on Streets.
And not only that, but they also got the amplification matrix out of Ricky, so that is a win-win for MME. They get to continue to hold. Captain Jack has his pulse bomb in his back pocket. Evergreen has the sound barrier in case they ever need to sustain. And Red Team, it's going to be looking tough. They need Hopeful to come through on this Tracer once again for them with his pulse bomb.
Yeah, Hopeful does have the pulse bomb, but again, they still have to walk into a lot of ultimates from MME Dive, and well, they might not even need said ultimates because they've already found Zero. The pulse bomb's gonna come in, the sound barrier as well from Ryan Guy coming through to try to change this fight, but it does not seem to be happening. Jack going for the duel with Hopeful, but well, finally coming out on top of it.
Yeah, that was not a good exchange of ultimates if you're Red Team. You committed the sound barrier and the pulse bomb just to get out sound barrier, and now Captain Jack gets a pulse bomb kill.
Yeah, the pulse bomb kill coming through, but again, you kind of already had that fight win in the back pocket. You might not have really needed those two ultimates or that second ultimate in that fight.
I mean, we'll see if that comes back to bite them, but they have both the overclock and the amplification matrix to use. Red Team has to hope that Worth gets another big shatter here.
Well, the Amp Matrix from Mighty is going to work out to perfection. Takes Zero out of this fight yet again, continuing to go down early in these fights when they aren't popping off. As the shatter now comes out, not gonna find the connection that they were hoping for. Now Worth is alone, separated from their team. They are gonna get the healing, but again, it's just not enough to keep them going, as MME have bought so much time here.
I don't know if you have a lot of lore with Red Team and Blue Team. I know you do in general, but there was a game I casted with them maybe last season. And I don't remember if it was Worth, but it was either Worth or Ricky. And they completely baited the team into that tunnel that Worth was in. And they like shattered and like charged everyone. It was incredible. And I thought Worth was going for that again. But MME Dive they're like, we're not fools.
Yeah, as the Dragon Strike from Zero is there, but they're just getting caught out yet again. They have to get the peel. Leo's used the overclock and has already found 3, down to 1 minute and 30. Make it 4 for Leo. The team kill coming in as MME have bought so much time. It was 5 minutes on the board. It's down to 120.
As we now see Red Team making swaps. Hopeful's on the May. Ham Zero's now on the Reaper. There's a lot of upfront damage, and it's all going to be about Hopeful getting isolation May walls onto Bonnie.
Yeah, they've got to come in and get that. They need to do something. They've got the shatter available, though, so it's not looking too hot. They finally kited around Mighty's ultimate. But the shatter's just gonna knock them all down on their backsides. Bonnie yet again coming through clutch for MME. 40 seconds to go.
One final fight to determine how this defense goes. We got sound barrier, the sound barrier. The one thing I'm probably looking at is both Worth and Ricky. to really bring this home and capture the second point, this shatter and window are going to be crucial to get.
They really are. They really are indeed. Oh no. Oh no, the observer feed. No! What's happening? Oh no.
No.
No way, what's happening? No. Okay. We're back to us while we figure that out. And it looks like
Okay, looks like we're back.
we're back in the and everything. They found the picks they needed to continue moving forward, and that's going to be all she wrote as Red Team have a new lease on life.
So listen, I'm just going to do a little play-by-play on what probably happened. Ricky pops the amplification matrix and they find 2. And then the sound barrier comes to sustain, but Evergreen is down and they don't have the sound barrier to fire back. And that was all she wrote.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened.
that's pretty much.
I'm copium.
Probably.
Did he cope?
Probably.
Maybe.
Probably what happened, but we will never know. But all you need to know is Red Team have completed point number 2. But well, they've already lost Ryan Guy early on, and just looks like Red Team are gonna have to full reset here. But they're not letting MME's not really letting them do that. Going to try to take them out before they can get back to spawn. Zero goes down. They all do get to spawn in the end, though.
All right, so this is where things get very dangerous for Red Team. MME Dive sitting on a 5-pack of ultimates. But if you're Red Team, you're coming up on 3 key ones. Both of your Death Blossom and Blizzard, as well as an amplification. If you can get a good Blizzard, especially onto Evergreen, and not allow that sound barrier to go off, you might be able to set yourself up for business.
Yeah, well, the business is going to be set already with the Death Blossom coming in. 0 4-piece. Can they find the 5th one for the ace? Captain Jack's running for their life. They do not want to be the one to give 0 that confidence.
Wow. I said they needed the Blizzard, but Hopeful comes through with a huge Death Blossom. It sets their team up, and now Hopeful can bring this home with the Blizzard.
Yeah, the Blizzard's gonna come out, but Leo has MME has a pantry full of ultimates here to keep things going in their favor, stopping them at the doorstep of point number 3, as that is going to be that Red Team cannot complete.
I mean, very true, but considering how that was going for Red Team, to get it as far as they did on point 3 has to be a huge boom for Red Team. And just MME down, just like, man, how did we let them get this far? We basically had them dead to rights on point B, and they just could not get it through. I don't know what happened in that exchange where we missed the feed, but Evergreen not being able to use that sound barrier was crucial. I guarantee you that was one of the reasons why they ended up dropping point B.
It was probably the case, but again, it's not going. We just don't know. But hey, what we do know though is MME Dive have a a goal that has been set for them here now. Words are hard. Okay. They do have their goal. They've got this. The table's been set. They know where they need to push, and they can get things up. But they've got this in the bag. Right, you talk.
Yeah, it's fine. We got the Reinhardt versus the Reinhardt. No surprise here, but defensively for Red Team, they're going back to the tried and true from Antarctic. Hopeful on this Tracer. Hey, I'm 0 on the Hanzo. I mean, they were only forced off of it when things got desperate and they needed like that May Reaper combination to help with the damage output. For Red Team, I mean, for MME, they're just keeping it what's been working for them. This Tracer, this Sojourn.
Yeah, it really has been working for them. Also, what's been working for MME is this Sojourn from Leo, taking Ryan Guy out already in this fight, and, well, opening things up for MME to capture first point.
Yeah, this Sojourn is doing a great job, Leo, of putting a lot of pressure onto Red Team and getting these kills, and that's what you want to see. That's the problem for Hey I'm 0. If you're not getting these kills constantly or putting pressure onto Bonnie, what exactly are you doing on this Hanzo? Is we need to see Hey, I'm Zero step up in a big way for their team.
Yeah, Zero does need to start sticking up a little bit better here for them as well, they're not even close to the Dragon Strike at the moment as they're gonna come back in there. Captain Jack looking to find them out of this fight as everyone's pretty low at the moment. Jack's still looking for some picks. The Pulse Bomb coming out. They're gonna take down the Immortality Field from Ricky as that Amp Matrix comes through. As oh my, okay, hopeful, okay, that's it.
Hopeful said, you got a Pulse Bomb and force our Immortality Field. I'll raise you one better and get 2 of your teammates. As that was incredible. We're going to need to continue to see this from both Hopeful and the entirety of Red Team, where Shatter now has this 1v1 Reinhardt, who's going to Shatter first mind game going on here, and I'm all for it as a Reinhardt player.
Yeah, I'm excited for this as well. Who's gonna find the better Shatter is the real question right now. And it's a lot of mind games, a lot of posturing. We're just gonna go past them and find everyone on the ground, but Bonnie does the same and does it one better. Well, because everyone's still alive from MME and they're gonna be able to find all the picks they need.
Yeah, not only that, but they were able to use the overclock in that fight, and that extra damage constantly outputting from Leo was the deciding factor that swung that fight in favor of MME. However, Red Team gets another chance to defend point B. Ham Zero has the Dragon Strike, and Ryan Guy has the sound barrier. So both of these need to come through.
Yeah, well, there's the sound barrier coming in from both of them, but it's going to be Ricky taking on their counterpart, Baptiste, early on. And, well, it should be the opening that Red Team were looking for, as this is all Red Team in the kill feed, but Worth so low still stays alive in the end.
They continue to live to fight another day. And MME dive, you know, sound barrier was used. Now Captain Jack has this Pulse Bomb. I think it's going to be crucial. Captain Jack has been doing a good job of putting pressure onto the back line, but kills wise, especially with the Pulse Bombs, has been a little quiet. It's Hopeful gets one of his own.
Yeah, Mighty's out of the fight already. Can't build up to that the Amp Matrix that they were looking for. They do find Hopeful. They go a little bit aggressive. Tried to confirm some extra exit kills, but they pay for it in the end.
That they do. But now, Red Team, all they have is a Shatter. Enemy dive coming up on an Amplification Matrix and a Pulse Bomb. This is their opportunity. This is their fight to take it now.
As the Shatter coming in from Worth is going to be blocked up. It looks like MME have all the tools necessary to complete point number 2.
Very, very strong position MME finds themselves in, as Hopeful was trying to stall out. Unfortunately, gets taken down. 3.5 minutes on the clock to gain about 68 meters. It's looking very bad. Red Team's backs are against the wall.
Yeah, it really is. They do start things off, though. Bonnie used that Shatter and did not find any follow-up thanks to some nice shots. Oh, well, speaking of nice shots, Leo takes off Zero's head, and now things, again, as Zero has to give him the props for that shot there.
It was a really good shot. I mean, the one thing for Red Team that feels really good is Hopeful force out the Immortality Field with the Pulse Bomb. But Bonnie kind of wasted that Shatter, was feeling themselves a little too much. So you don't have to deal with that Shatter for a while.
They do not indeed, and well, they don't have to deal with Leo for about 10 seconds as well, because, well, Hopeful finds them out, showing them who the real Leo is.
Excuse me. This is MME's dive's chance, or MME's chance. They got Pulse Bomb, they got Overclock, and they got Sound Barrier. Red Team's looking at Dragons at a Sound Barrier, so Ryan Guy has to be extremely picky about what he wants to use a Sound Barrier to counter. You get a counter Pulse Bomb, you get a counter Overclock.
Well, the Dragon Strike's going to come through already in the Sound Meteor early on from Evergreen. The Pulse Bomb coming in as well from Captain Jack, so it's still anyone's point at the moment, but Ricky's going to go down so low. There was that moment when they needed the Sound Meteor most, and well, it wasn't there as MME clean up the kills.
Not only do they clean up the kills, but Leo kept the overclock, so he should be able to clean up any stragglers coming from Red Team. Hopeful Pulse Bomb has to come through big. We've seen some big ones, but we need to see it again.
Yeah, they've got to have a massive one right now as everyone's so low on Red Team, though. It's not looking too hot. It looks like MME have tied up the series as that it is 1-1 going into map 3.
MME Dive called their shot. They chose Kings Row, and they absolutely dominated on this map. Big props to Bonnie on the Reinhardt. Did a really good job. Captain Jack, I know, we were on him. The pulse bombs weren't always great, but the amount of pressure they continued to place on Ryan Guy and Ricky does not go unnoticed.
Yeah, I think really that's what you can chalk up to that MME victory there. I mean, they weren't able to keep their supports alive, and that's got to be something that is changed going forward if they want to have any shot to go into this, continue on through this series and not just lose out from for the rest of the time. They do, however, get the next map pick, and it is going to be an escort or payload map type. We've got Rialto Havana, Junkertown, and Shambali available for them, and it looks like we've got the pick coming in. And interestingly enough, we are going in to Junkertown here, right?
Yeah, I think that is a nod to the hit scan potential on Red Team. Between Hey I'm Zero and Hopeful. We've seen Hey I'm Zero on this Hanzo all night, but Hopeful also a very talented hit scan player. Junkertown is known for playing Hanzo, Widow, hit scans, Ashes of the world, lots of sight lines to work with, and Worth can play so many different tanks, so I don't think it really matters for Worth, so I think this is a fantastic map choice for Red Team.
It really is. I'm very excited to see this this sniper duel that is undoubtedly about to come out from these two squads, and I'm very excited to see, well, who comes out on top of said sniper duels.
Couldn't agree with you more. As interestingly enough, you don't see Junkertown picked a lot in these pools. I think because it's such a sniper intensive map. Not a lot of teams have multiple sniper players, and this map really feeds into that.
It really does, but the interesting thing is right now we aren't seeing any changes. We've got the snipers coming out from these two teams, but it's the inclusion of the tracer is what I'm most interested about.
Yeah, so both teams are playing the Sigma, which makes sense. You enable your hit scan, being able to play, your Ash or your having that deployable shield to enable your Ash or your Widow or whatever. So MME Dive defensively, they're playing Zen and they're playing Baptiste, which makes sense. Having that Discord orb to help out Leo even more and giving that Harmony orb to Captain Jack makes a lot of sense. Red Team is going with Brig and Baptiste. Whoa, nice accretion rock. It's going to be a lot of heals to be had and a lot of protection for the backline against Captain Jack.
Yeah, this is going to be a decision, better in the sense of damage for MME Dive, like you were saying, because of that Discord orb that is so valuable. And, well, I was going to talk about the Brig, but they're already back to spawn, as MME are going to start off strong on their defense.
Yeah, as I talked about the protection that Brig gives, unfortunately, Captain Jack said, I don't really care. I'm just going to kill you anyway. So the Ryan guy's going to have to be a little bit more weary and be prepared because Captain Jack has been constantly on your back line all series long. And I mean, that's probably a big reason why you're playing the Brig. So you got to come through on this pick.
Yeah, as they're going to come through. Zero clicks ahead. Almost found another one as well. As Jack trying to get into the back. Oh, okay. Okay again. Okay, I was about to say they almost lined up the shot on to Leo as well as red team there are going to open things up thanks to the insane aim of Zero.
Yeah, as that wraps up that point, I mean, that's kind of just what happens. You have a sniper on this map, they click the heads, you win the fights, and Zero is showing through strong. On the previous maps, we've been looking at Hopeful, and they've been incredible on this Tracer. It's really nice to see Zero stepping up on this Widow right now.
They are stepping up here as they are going to take a very advantageous position. Well, it's starting to work out well for them. They found Evergreen out, and now they've got a lot of people low on the side of MME as Bonnie's going to go down to their own spheres as that is a little thing that can happen.
There's the window in there.
They do use the window. Both of the teams have used their window, but Captain Jack, well, gets some use to it, finding Hopeful and Zero. Now they're in a faded duel between the Brigida and the Tracer. They do go down once Worth comes in. The rally there as well to really solidify things into the favor of Red Team.
One thing that's really interesting to me, Joker, is generally speaking, Sigma compositions are very poke-based, waiting for the picks. But Red Team has been playing this composition so aggressively and pushing forward, and it's really working to their advantage and catching MME off guard.
Oh, Zero does go down, though, but, I mean, not before, after they find a pick, as Hopeful comes in as, to wrap things up. Ryan Guy getting in onto the feed as well as Red Team are looking unstoppable currently.
That they are, as now we see Worth going over to the Diva, which I think is a really smart adaptation, as they had swapped over to the Winston to try and help deal with the Sigma. And now Diva does such a great job of just obliterating Winston with the micro missiles.
Okay, so Zero continuous just dominating the other team here with their aim. Worth is going to be going to get demeched, and now things might finally go into the favor of MME, but, well, that doesn't seem to be the case, because the Bunny Blaster
Widow, baby,
does the work for them in the end, and continuing their ever relenting push is Red Team.
It's just so impressive. Even like Worth is sacrificing his mech just to ensure that his team is able to confirm kills. Not only that, but now we're looking at Hopeful's pulse bomb and another rally coming out from Ryan Guy. It is looking like Kitsune Rush, however.
Yeah, the Kitsune Rush is available from Mighty, but everyone's so low currently. They are going to get the healing back in the end, obviously, but the anti-nade comes through. Worth is going to get that nano boost to try to confirm some kills of their own. The sound barrier in response, but now, well, that sound barrier is gone and a lot of damage still coming through. You got to break that. You got to break it, but not going to find anything with the self-destruct. The Kitsune Rush coming through, the pulse bomb as well. And it finally seems that MME have been able to stop Red Team.
And that was a crucial, ginormous team fight win for MME. Not only do they end up getting that, but Red Team threw the entire kitchen sink at that fight. So they have nothing to work with. We're going to be looking at dry fights coming out from Red Team for a little bit now. So with MME dive building to ultimates of their own.
Yeah, they are indeed, but we've seen them be able to turn these fights without the need of an ultimate, maybe from a one hopeful or two. But it is going to be hard, like you said, to push into this because, well, they've got the ultimates on the board for MME. They are going to use the Pulse Bomb, however, that's built up and takes out Captain Jack as, they now are going to get that nano boost onto them. Bonnie is so low. The healing finally comes through, but they're still not able to stay alive as Red Team continuing to just dominate this. They didn't get the big of a time bank, but it just felt so dominant in the end.
Yeah, it took them probably an extra minute longer than they were hoping, but all things considered, a minute and a half is a very impressive time bank for Junkertown. And I mean, they are just playing so well as we see. Hey, I'm Zero in the chat. Not today, Evergreen. Yeah, hey, I'm Zero. Talk your talk, man. You are playing incredible on this Widow.
Yeah, really are. As some trolling coming through from them at the moment. Well, now we come in. MME Dive now has their opportunity to attack.
That they do, but I want to take a, let's zoom out on the entire series as a whole. One thing, that kind of popped in my head, Joker. A lot of these maps have been extremely dictated by the team who picks them. Like Antarctic went very favorable toward Red Team. They picked that map. Kings Row, MME dominated. They picked it. And now we see Junkertown with Red Team. This is probably the most dominating effort we've seen on any map so far. So I think really what this really could come down to map picks and making sure these teams nail them down perfectly. And if that's the case, Red Team has the advantage because they were the one waiting in the grand finals.
Yeah, as well, now they come in here as well. They're gonna start things off. They've still got the same difference, but Leo, however, is gonna be starting things off on the Sojourn as it's they're just trying to vie for position early on.
That they are, as Leo gets extremely low. He's gonna have to back up on Captain Jack. Strikes first, takes down Zero.
Yeah, as well, they find Rhyme Guy as well coming in here. Well, now they can really just free push this. They don't have anything to contest at the moment.
They do not, as there should be one more defense coming in from Red Team, but this is already looking kind of rough for these streets. But hey, I'm Zero strikes first.
Yeah, Zero strikes first, but, well, they're going to be taken back immediately by Leo, who has taken this high ground away, but they have to come through, reset, and join MME back in spawn.
Yeah, and this is where things get kind of dangerous for MME. This is a very strong defensible position that Red Team has now taken. Hey, I'm Zero is now going to have so many sightlines to work with, so it's going to be Captain Jack's job to try and apply this pressure and not let Hey, I'm Zero just have his way with all the angles.
Now, as Zero is very low at the moment, they are going to get the res, or the healing coming in from the rest of Red Team. However, though, that is resources not available for the rest of their squad. The Pulse Bomb coming in. Bonnie very low, but hopeful a little bit lower as they are now 6 feet under as MME come in clutch. Captain Jack finding everything that they need to open this first point up.
As that is all she wrote for the first attack. For the first point for MME, as Red Team took about half the time off the clock, but they definitely would have liked better. Is now both teams building up to lots of ultimates. I mean, the one kicker is Hopeful used the Pulse Bomb in that fight, so you're not going to be able to have that for a while. And Captain Jack is doing what I talked about we needed done, is applying the pressure to Hey, I'm Zero.
Well, things have frozen up for us. cams are frozen currently, so we're just waiting to see what happens. Don't really know what to say here.
I don't either. This is very big, unfortunate right now.
All right, so we're gonna get our observer to reload their feed. It looks like. Hopefully that sorts out the problem, and then we'll see how we can maybe fix things, or hopefully things are gonna go in, loading in back here.
Yeah, let's really hope so, because I don't want to miss this action. This game has been so incredible, and MME was really starting to get a stronghold on this attack and hopefully set just as impressive a time bank as we saw from Red Team.
Yeah, as we are... Oh, lobby crashed, perhaps? Okay, the lobby is still going on. Apparently, the observer did crash here, so this is an unfortunate thing that happens when you are online in online games. So, trying to get that sorted out quite quickly here so we can get back into that game.
Yeah, as Leo was doing a great job getting those railgun shots for MME, and then like I mentioned, Captain Jack was just not letting Ham Zero have his way with the sight lines and the angles and just being able to hit headshots. As long as you have a tracer constantly on your back trying to kill you, that you can't focus on killing the rest of the team.
All right, we've got the lobby invite. We're entering the game here. Hopefully it's not completed just yet, as no, it has not. We are back into the game, and it looks like MME's dives, pretty impressive time bank, has gone down quite a bit as we're in the midst of everything. Hopeful finds the pulse bomb stick coming through onto Bonnie. Zero is low, but still holding on is Red Team.
Yeah, I mean, what a incredible second point defense coming out of Red Team. They've already taken, what is it, like 3.5 minutes or so off the clock, so clearly they've been doing a lot of things right, but Captain Jack continuing to go after Ham Zero. He's down.
Yeah, they do go down quickly afterwards, though, as Bonnie is over to the Winston. We didn't really talk about that. Well, it's working well for MME Dive, who, like you said, Bonnie, a very good Winston player and showing out well for them.
Yeah, we saw this swap from Bonnie on the defense previously to try and deal with Worth's Sigma. And the response to that is the Diva, and we see Worth pulling that out right here, right now. But it's not in time to be able to stop the second point from being taken. But, you know, consolation prize, you took so much time off the clock. You're looking at less than 2 minutes to bring this home.
Yeah, as they do have about 2 minutes to bring it home. Zero's gonna make a swap though here, Ray. Zero is on to the Sombra.
As now we see the amplification matrix coming out.
Yeah, the amp matrix comes through. Ryan Guy down, Ricky down, as that is not how that fight should have come through, as MME win that out. They do lose Mighty, however, but still, that's not enough to change things.
Yeah, it really isn't. I do like the adaptation of bringing in the Sombra. It can really disrupt Winston as the pulse bomb, unfortunately, hits Bonnie low and force them to back up.
Yeah, they come back in. The hack is on to Leo. Currently, they aren't able to come in, however, though, with the confirmation to it, as Ricky is so low. The rally is going to have to be used to try to keep the supports up and alive, but Ryan Guy goes down in the end. 35 seconds to go. I don't think there is going to be a possibility of time on the board, especially since Zero's closing in on the EMP.
Yes, but on escort, that doesn't matter. As long as they get it through, they will get a minute added to their time bank, as it's all about getting this across the line. Leo, I'm looking at you. This overclock got to come through big. Zero, you got to build up to this pulse, this EMP.
They really do, as Hopeful and Zero coming in clutch for red team here. The EMP's available, but it might not even be needed as the self-destruct comes through. The overtime bar is so close to ticking away. The EMP in celebration as red team take map number 3.
Woo! Hey, I'm Zero came through in a huge way on that storm bar and didn't even need to use the EMP. I believe got 2 kills just from manual hacks and just primary fire, and then was just able to use the EMP to seal the deal. And unfortunate for Leo, the overclock just did not come through like they wanted. They went around and tried to go for a back angle from behind, but by the time that happened, their team was already dead. So very unfortunate, but this has been a great series. It's 2-1 in favor of red team, and MME gets the next pick.
Yeah, they do. They do indeed get the map pick right after this, but we do have a short little break that we are headed to. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss the conclusion of this series.
Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours.
Yo.
Cash and the ticket is yours. Yours.
Everyone, welcome back as we are ready to head into our fourth map of the series to see, well, if red team continue their winning ways, or are we going to tie things back up with MME as we're headed into push, and that's going to mean we are headed to Coliseum.
Yeah, it was the pick of MME as we mentioned, and this whole series has been dictated by whoever chose the map has won the map. So, you know, if we continue to see this trend going through, MME is supposed to win this map, but who knows? I've seen and casted many a time red team, blue team, whatever variation of all these players on Coliseum. It's a very strong map for them. Hopeful on this Tracer's got to go crazy, but Captain Jack has looked very good as well. We saw so much pressure he did on Junkertown to put onto Hey I'm Zero on that Widow.
Yeah, as we now are looking to see, can they turn back the clocks to Kings Row, or, I mean, is this all going to be red team here and now? They've got to come through, and I believe this is the map they did end up winning against red team previously. If I remember reading that in chat correctly, it was Kings Row and this map, Coliseum, that they ended up winning in their matchup previously. So this is a good track record for MME to get things back all tied up.
Couldn't agree with you more. I mean, considering it's Coliseum, I would not be shocked if we kind of get like the Reinhardt versus the Reinhardt duel. Maybe we see the Ramatras coming out to play. I'm not exactly sure what these teams are thinking. It looks like MME is thinking Reinhardt all the way. And they're not swapping anything around. Like I mentioned, they've been so successful at it on the map they won on Kings Row. Leo and Captain Jack popped off, and we're going to need to see that some more. As red team, now we see what they're doing. They're going with the Reinhardt all the way, but they're not going to play any sort of hit scan. Instead, they've decided we're going to have Reinhardt have a little buddy of his own to back him up in this duel against Bonnie.
Yeah, should work well for them. Obviously, that range damage could be a problem in the end, but well, only time shall tell as these two shall start their gladiator battle in the Coliseum, as they're going to start things off. The Reinhardt swinging for the fences, but it's going to be worth going down super low. The healing is there from Ricky, keeping them alive and keeping red team in this fight for the time being, but they still need to find an opening pick. They need something, anything, really. And, well, that's the thing they needed. IQ Mighty out of this fight, and the healing now gone for MME Dive is going to allow red team to start the bot progress.
The one thing I wanted to talk about was from Leo specifically. The disruptor shots have been actually fantastic. They're stopping Worth in his tracks and putting a lot of damage. However, look at Ricky. Already has the amplification matrix. IQ Mighty was only at 80%. So that just tells you how much more healing Ricky has been putting out.
Yeah, they've been putting in a lot of healing here, as there's going to be the pulse bomb coming in. The immortality field saves them at the last second, as Bonnie now comes through, taking Ryan Guy out. But, well, they pay for it in the end, so I don't really know if I like that trade for MME Dive currently, as the pulse bomb now out from Captain Jack, not going to find anything, but still, these two teams are at a deadlock, waiting to see who messes up first. And while neither of the Reinhardts mess up, blocking both shatters coming out as the sound barriers coming in, but Worth is so low, they go down in the end, and it looks like MME finally get their fight win.
That they do. That is a good 46 meters coming out from red team. And look at that, Ricky's already built to another window, and IQ just used his. That is ridiculous. Ricky is insane with it on this Baptiste. As Ham Zero, we saw previously on King's Row when they swapped to the May and the Reaper, had a huge Death Blossom, got what, like 3 or 4 kills, has that once again.
Yeah, they do have that available here. It's just more about getting into position and to use it, and finding Leo out, who had that overclock available, now might be the sign that they needed. But, well, they're not even going to need the Death Blossom. All they need is the Amp Matrix from Ricky to get the bot back in their favor.
Yeah, now Hopeful in the process has built up to a pulse bomb. And in that fight, Leo used the overclock, and we saw a pulse bomb from Captain Jack. So MME has absolutely nothing to combat these ultimates coming in from red team. This should be the point cap for red team. The bot's been stolen a little bit.
Yeah, as now they come back, and they've got the bot back into their favor here, and now as the shatter comes in from Bonnie, knocking them all down, the Death Blossom coming in response, as it's not going to find anything, as that is going to be still MME Dive in control.
Yeah, that was disastrous for red team. 2 DPS ultimates, nothing found.
Yeah, nothing being found, and MME Dive finding everything they need. Hopeful finds Mighty, but in the end, it's not enough to keep things going for red team.
Yeah, now that you've lost both your DPS ultimates, MME has built up to both their support ultimates and a pulse bomb in the process. This is what looked like very good for red team has turned disastrous.
Yeah, this is not looking too hot. Worth is super low here. They need to get the sound barrier online here, and now they still have not given up the point progress just yet, though. This is huge, and finding Bonnie out is Hopeful, and keeping the point alive and keeping the bot in the favor of red team.
And Worth coming in with the last second contest and bot control to where they keep the lead by literally 0.1 meters. Crucial plays coming out from Worth.
Yeah, crucial plays indeed. Captain Jack gonna go down to the backpack of Hopeful, as this should be perhaps the forward spawns being unlocked, but the MME is going to have something to say about this. They're not going to let them get it for free, and they've already started to contest to come through to stop them at the doorsteps of these spawns. As now they drop down, they do have to be wary of the shatter that's going to come in from Worth any second here. Now the sound barrier invested, the shatter coming in, as that should be yet again red team coming out on top.
I mean, incredible plays all around, and again, it's so weird because like I'm like, okay, red team should win this fight, and then they use their DPS ultimates and don't. I'm like, MME Dive now has the ultimate advantage. Now they should be able to bring this home, and red team somehow turns it around. So these teams, when their backs are against the wall and they're in positions where they shouldn't win, they are pulling through big time.
Yeah, as Captain Jack now comes back in better than ever, finding Worth out thanks to the pulse bomb and the extra damage from the pulse pistols, as they do now have to deal with this ever rotation of the forward spawns though from red team.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely tough. And again, we find ourselves in this position. 2 DPS ultimates for a red team. One already used, nothing found.
They're gonna come in already. They do only find a Leo, but that is going to be enough. The damage has already been done to MME. They do lose Ricky, however, though. That might... Okay, no, it's not going to be enough to change the tide of the fight as red team continue to have their bot in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a very decisive advantage, especially with these forward spawns that red team have unlocked. It's so crucial because MME, to get any kind of cart distance, they have to win 2 fights in a row.
They do indeed, but they are going to get rid of these forward spawns, perhaps. Yes, they do. They take away the forward spawns from red team for the time being. But now they are entrenched in the battles, in the trenches, and well, they are going to come out on top here is MME, as they find everything they need. Is just hopeful, stalling out for a little bit.
Yeah, so the MME has to get these forward spawns unlocked. That has to be the big checkbox number 1. They have a lot of ultimates to work with here. They just cannot let Hopeful get into their backline and get another big pulse bomb. They just can't.
Yeah, they cannot, as the pulse bomb comes out from them. Though they still have not found anything. Well, they found their backs on the ground, though. Worth coming in clutch yet again for red team.
It really is very clutch. Unfortunately, like I mentioned, getting those forward spawns were going to be crucial, and unfortunately they can't. And as we're coming up on 1.5 minutes, it is looking very rough for MME. And if they go down 3-1, they are going to be in a very bad spot. They got to turn it around. It's got to start with this shatter.
Well, the shatter comes out, but it doesn't look like anyone's found out. The sound barrier, though, invested a little too late now from Rhyme Guy, because Worth is already gone. But in the meanwhile, there was a little bit of a little trickaroo, a little C9 coming in. Red team are able to get the forward spawns.
They definitely were, and now we see them coming back. Hey, I'm Zero. The ironic thing is, this could come down to this Bastion ultimate. I never thought I would say that, but you know, you get something out of it, and you're going to be in an incredible spot if you're red team.
Well, the photon barrier comes out, but they just kite away. They don't really need to take this fight. They can let MME take all the time in the world. Everything's in the favor of red team currently, and they unless they lose this fight, they should not be in much danger. But hey, they've lost Zero, they've lost Ricky. Now things are looking a little bit more rough for the side of red team. They do come in hopeful and Worth, however, finding all the clutch picks in the world that they need. Though it's still anyone's point. The overtime bar is there, however. Now MME cannot get off the point, but they're still finding picks. Ryan Guy is down and out. They've got ultimates though. Does red team? They've got everything they need to hold on to this. The artillery strike coming through from Zero. They've got the overtime bar ticking away. The shatter comes in. No one's gonna get there. It's red team take map number 4.
Not only did they take map number 4, but now they are on championship point. So they have got to be feeling incredible. MME dive, backs are against the wall, but I will not ever doubt MME. So I trust them to try and come back, but red team is just firing on all cylinders today. I mean, we're going to control next, so I believe if you're MME, you're going to have to be very smart about what control map you take them to, considering, you know, you've kind of, the maps you've won, you like to play the Reinhardt and you like to play it with like the Tracer Sojourn. I would maybe think that Nepal might be your best bet in that kind of play, because you know, Lijiang is what you tend to think of the most when you think of Reinhardt on a control map, but I don't know if all those maps are going to play great into Tracer Sojourn specifically.
I don't know. I don't know. What I do know though is, like you said, MME needs to win this or they lose.
That's it.
And
yeah.
you know what else they lose, Ray? I'm going to get the correct numbers for you here in a few short moments as I look at Wikipedia to see the breakdown. But they lose out on $1,000 more than they could if they win this. As 1,500 goes to the winner of this match, by the way. Didn't happen to mention that this is a money match. 1,500 goes to the winner, 500 goes to the loser. So, I mean, $1,000 is a pretty big difference in a payday for these two teams. As there was also $250 for third place, which blue team did get. But that's not what we're worried about right now. We're worried about how these two teams attack things. And they do look to be coming into a pick to come through. It looks like it is going to be Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, that was... I felt like it was probably between Nepal and Lijiang Tower. And I mean, I think both maps would have been fine. I just felt like the sight lines on Nepal would have been a little bit better for the Sojourn that we've seen Leo loving to play and has been dominant on. But I think Lijiang Tower is going to work perfectly. The only one that worries me just a little bit is Night Market. That one can be a struggle to play Sojourn sometimes. Especially if you get into a situation where maybe you're going up against a sim, or I'm not sure what red team is going to look to play, but I still think it's a good map choice.
Looks like we are just waiting for the ready from red team as they are currently doing a bio break, but it shouldn't take too long to get into this, and I'm very excited to see how, well, at least where we start on. You said Reinhardt kind of gets played a lot, but I feel like Reinhardt only truly dominates one section of the game, and that is going to be control center.
I agree. I think Reinhardt's a given on control center, and I think it's I mean, the way we've seen these two teams go at it, I think it's likely we see it on Night Market. Its Gardens could be like the weird wrench, the weird monkey wrench in everyone's plans. What do these teams elect to do? Do we see the Winstons come out? Like I mentioned, Bonnie, very good Winston player. Worth is also a very good Winston player of their own. So, and Winston tends to be the end all be all for compositions. But the other thing I talk about, the one times we have seen Bonnie play the Winston, Worth has not elected to take that duel. They've elected to go with the Diva, which it's a great counter to the Winston. And red team has just played into that composition very well.
No, we look to be ready here now. Everyone's back at their setup to get things going for map number 5. Remember, red team is on match point, grand finals point, in fact, as this is for currently all the marbles in the world, well, at least in the world of CGL here, as we are headed straight into the game.
And for all of you Brawl lovers, we are starting out on Control Center. So, I mean, the only 2 tanks we ever see on this map, generally speaking, Reinhardt and Ramatra. And both of these teams have been playing Reinhardt all day. That's probably what we're going to see. As we see MME dive starting out on the Reinhardt composition, they're going to have Captain Jack on that Tracer. The big question is Leo, Joker. Are they just on the sim to TP out and then swap to like a Sojourn who can slide back to their team quickly? Or are they committing to the Symmetra, which I think is completely fine for this map in all intents and purposes. For red team, they're going full spam in your face. They're going sim and junk. So that's a lot of pressure on Bonnie to conserve this shield as much as possible.
Yeah, the Junkrat's going to be the only one that stays. Hopeful, obviously going to stick with the Tracer, as that's what has been their bread and butter throughout the series so far. They did lose Evergreen early on, but it is going to be traded back quickly. Now Captain Jack finding that pick onto 0 can open things up in more of the favor for MME dive, unless, well, they can't seem to find a pick, but Worth's going to go down. That should be MME capturing point first.
Now, unfortunately, red team could not capitalize on that early pick of Evergreen. Just too much pressure from Captain Jack in the back line, and then Ham Zero went down, and then you have no damage presence to help try and put pressure on to Bonnie. As now MME dive, because of the pressure from Ham Zero on this Junkat, they're being forced to back up and give this space to red team, which is huge for red team.
It is indeed, as now they have to rotate back. Leo very low, but well, obviously going to get healed back up, not going to be a problem. What might be a problem though is this amp matrix coming in from Mighty. But again, it's just going to be kited around. They still have time to give. The Shatter comes out. The Captain Jack Pulse Bomb, though, finds it true onto Rhine Guy. But it's still not seeming to be enough to keep red team at bay, as now they can come forward. Bonnie very low, gonna go down in the end, and red team are able to capitalize and get the point into their favor.
Whew. And I think this swap over to the Symmetra is another key component. I talked about it before, you know, they just used the Symmetra to swap off. It just adds that layer of even more pressure onto Bonnie.
The Shatter comes out, but there's no one to follow it up as Hopeful's taking Evergreen out. The charge comes through. They've already lost 2, though, so it's not like finding Worth could have made all the difference. I mean, it might have, but again, we won't know until we know, as they invest the amp matrix in, and they've already lost 3.
Yeah, I think that's a huge mistake in an ultimate you're going to wish you had and want back. You were already losing that fight at that point. You should have just went and died and reset. And now look at red team. They've built up to almost 5 ultimates, Joker. It is looking very good for red team after they were struggling at first.
Yeah, they are going to now eclipse MME with their percentage on the point. They do come through. The Immortality finds the Riptire to keep them going. And there's the Pulse Bomb taking Worth out. And now things not as hot as it once was for red team. But hey, they've still got the advantage, but well, maybe not any longer. The point's going to be flipped over into the favor now of MME. But they still don't have the end-all, be-all. They've got to deal with the Shatter that's going to be coming in from Worth, and they just don't need it, actually, because, well, Ham Zero comes through with the Junkrat.
Yeah, quick turn of the fight from red team. That was a costly fight, however, from them. That cost 4 of their ultimates. The only consolation prize is you forced out 2 ultimates from MME. But 2 for 4, I mean, it's not great. So like you mentioned, Worth, Shatter is all they have. So it's got to be a massive one.
Really does indeed. The Shatter is gonna come out. Leo's the only one knocked down, but there's a lot of damage coming in as Worth finds them out as it's now in the overtime bar for Red Team. They find out Zero. They were trying to build up to that Riptire here, but it still doesn't seem to be enough. The Pulse Bomb comes out from Captain Jack. Not gonna find anyone. They are landing some shots though. Ricky's gonna be taken down. Still no one to be found. It's not enough. The Photon Barrier comes through, but Leo's in the back with that Symmetra Beam, finding picks, and oh no, they had everyone they needed there, Ray, but they, in the end, they don't get on the point.
As the C9s enter the chat. Very unfortunate for everyone because they had the numbers, as you mentioned. So that is just, I don't know if that was communication. Someone thought one was going to touch and the other thought the other was going to touch. That's just so sad. As now we move to, I believe this is Gardens. Yeah, this is Gardens. So my question was, would we see any kind of variations off the Reinhardts from these teams? As we sit with 5 seconds to attack, it does not look like it. We see the DPS changing ever so slightly. MME is now going over to that Tracer Sojourn, which I think is going to bode really well, specifically more sight lines, a lot of room for the Tracer to work with. And Ham Zero is going over to that Reaper we saw once again, as Bonnie did go over to the Winston.
Yeah, Bonnie did go over to the Winston, but unfortunately for them, a Winston Buster is currently selected for Red Team. They've got the Reaper in their face, and well, they're just going to capitalize on that. Bonnie does find Ricky out after Leo does go down to them, but it is looking like Red Team are going to be the ones to cap first. But hey, they get the touch in the end, but Mighty's gone. Now things should finally go into the favor of Red Team.
And Joker, we got to put things into perspective at this point. If Red Team wins this map, they win. They win that $1,500 we talked about. They are flying high. MME dive, have to make something happen. They got to win this map. And this Winston, like you mentioned, is just having a hard time against this Reaper.
Yeah, it really is. The Pulse Bomb does come through and separates Worst Shatter away from the healing thanks to the Winston bubble. Not able to stay alive. They do find Leo out, but again, without their Reinhardt to stabilize around, Red Team are going to have to give up the point for the time being. They are going to still invest. They've got the Sound Barrier into this. Now they're using all of their presence to stay on this point and take Evergreen out. The Primal Rage does come through, but still doesn't seem to be enough. But hey, they do find Zero out. The Coalescence from Ricky is there as well. Still, all of these teams, everything's still looking to go in for them currently, but no one's making a real difference maker. But in the meantime, MME's already taken things into their favor thanks to that point flip, and now they can take the fight win.
I was a little worried that they might let this point lose themselves without swapping, as we now see Red Team's making some swaps. They're now going over to the Diva to try and help deal with this Winston-based composition. Once again, problem is Red Team only has the Death Blossom to work with. And look at MME. They are stacked. Pulse Bomb, Overclock, and Kitsune Rush. They should be able to defend for a good amount of time.
Well, they should, in theory, as Worth tries to get in already. The Overclock still not being used, but they don't need it at the moment. The Death Blossom does come through from Zero, finding out Leo, but it was a little too late, as MME are closing in on 90%.
It feels like things have gone from bad to worse. Death Blossom doesn't find its value, and you only force MME Dive to use Pulse Bomb. Hamster is now going over to the Sombra, which, you know, fair swap. It's going to do a good job to disrupt what Bonnie's trying to do, but is it too little too late?
Well, the Kitsune Rush is going to come in here from IQ Mighty, but it seems like most of red team just kited around it. The sound barrier is there. Worth is out of mech though, but it's still enough for red team to continue on this round of Lijiang.
MME Dive just needs to win a single fight. Leo has the overclock and red team has nothing as we're sitting right here and now. Worth has to completely reset. He's going to have a remech in this fight, but look, Ricky's already down.
Yeah, Ricky going down might just be the nail in the coffin for this round of Lijiang Tower. Hopeful follows quickly afterwards. Zero translocating away. They have to buy the time. They really need to. The self-destruct comes through from Worth. It's not going to find anything. Overtime bar ticking away. The touch is there. Ricky's down. This is going to a round number 3 as Captain Jack just blows up Hopeful. And now the overtime's away. And that is going to be that. MME tie things up on Lijiang.
Yeah, very impressive. Winston coming out on Gardens really did its thing. That's what I expected to see and to work really well. And that's exactly what happened. Now we move to Night Market, however. And this, generally speaking, especially in these tiers, it doesn't tend to be Winston's playground, but I mean, I think, you know, if you're MME, you got to ride the momentum of what you're at and what you're doing right now. We do see Captain Jack currently on that Symmetra, so it makes me wonder if they're going to go Reinhardt and TP to point. As it sits, red team pulling out a new composition. I'm excited for this one. They're going Wrecking Ball with a Pharmacy. You don't see this every day on Night Market. It's one of those specialty compositions. It's all about this ball and Pharah syncing up.
Yeah, it really is as Zero on the Pharah coming in here. As they are going to look to unlock the point early for MME Dive, but, well, that's going to be big. Worth and Hopeful coming in clutch, taking Leo out already, as well as Zero taking Evergreen out, but they do lose Worth, so that is going to bode poorly for red team, as they still do have this point presence available thanks to Zero on the Pharah, but they haven't. Oh, okay. And just gonna chuck that at the Pharah and find the pick. Captain Jack holding things out and getting the point in their favor.
That was disgusting by Captain Jack, and you do not see that every day. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a Tracer stick a Pharah like that. That was kind of crazy. Red team is now they're gonna swap over to the Diva. They're just realizing that this Wrecking Ball is not going to cut it against this Winston. You need that extra damage to put pressure onto some of these players from MME.
Yeah, as Worth has swapped over to the Diva now to maybe change things up more. Hopefully it works into their favor. They do not want to go into further maps. They want to end things here and now, but, well, sometimes we don't get things what we want. Ryan Guy going down early on. They do, however, still find some trades, but it's still not enough to keep things into the favor of red team, as the reset just has to happen.
MME Dive is playing so well. They are continuing to use these walls that are naturally built into this Night Market so well to avoid, hey, I'm Zero. And then they put themselves in an advantageous position for Leo to get that rail shot and get, hey, I'm Zero down. They do have to worry about this incoming barrage, however. If you can get aggressive before the sound barrier gets online.
Yeah, it's going to be the case, I think, but Zero's going to go down to Leo. They get the res, but the sound barrier being used. They've got to get things down in dirty. Is the barrage going to come in? But again, not enough to really change things up. The self-destruct is there, but no one's going to be finding any damage thanks to it, as they still have this overclock available as well.
That they do, as MME have found new life. Hey, I'm Zero has now been forced to swap over to the Sombra. Worth has to go to the ball to get back quick. It is just looking very bleak for red team as the overclock from Leo seals the deal, as MME has some new life. They force a map 6 and make it 3-2.
We got 3-2 on the board now. As however, they do have to win all of red team's map picks going here forward, which hasn't in the past been their strongest suit. They've, I believe, lost every map pick besides that. No, yeah, every map pick I believe is when red team have picked the map.
That they have, and like we mentioned, red team gets to pick this next map. It will be an escort map, as we don't go to hybrid anymore because we don't like the possibility of drawing anymore. So my question is, we saw last time when red team got to pick escort, they went to Junkertown, and Hey I'm Zero on the Widow absolutely dominated. So trying to think about the map pools that we have for payload. We have Rialto, we have Shambali, and we have Havana left on the board. I mean, when I think of hit scans and playing the Sigma that we've seen that red team likes, I'm looking at Shambali, maybe Havana as well.
Well, currently the problem is Circuit Royale has been picked, but that's not in the map pool here, right? Like you said, Rialto, Havana, Shambali, the maps available.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to get that all sorted and figured out for red team. I mean, considering they're picking a map that would do very well for Sigma and Widow, and of the sorts, Circuit Royale is very good for those heroes. That's why I'm still thinking it's either got to be Shambali or Havana, because those are other maps that just allow those compositions to flourish.
They gotta change the map choice here. We're waiting to see the decision of that. But other than that, no, we're still headed to an escort, but it's not going to be Circuit Royale because not in the map pool.
That it isn't, as hopefully we get this sorted away quickly, but let's just focus on MME and how they were able to turn things around on that last map. I think it had to do a lot with their positioning. They played so well, especially on Night Market, staying out of Hey I'm Zero's sights on the Farah, continuing to bob and weave between all the doors and windows and stuff that Farah has the ability to shoot through. And then we saw the pulse bomb stick onto Hey I'm Zero. We saw railgun shots. They were just perfectly countering that Farah so well. And I mean, just hands down, great job, MME.
Yeah. So they did not realize that Circuit Row was not in the map pool, but they do have so they now have the choices of Havana, Rialto, Shambali on their mind, and but I mean we're still just waiting here, Ray.
Now we are, and that is totally fine. I mean, it's a very crucial map pick for red team. I feel like you can't allow MME to continue to build this momentum and force a map 7. So I mean, I feel like you got to end it here if you're red team. You just can't continue to tempt fate.
Yeah, then they obviously need to win it here and now, and we do finally have the correct map being chosen. Well, it is going to be one of the newest maps in the game here, Ray. It is going to be Shambali Monastery whenever we get that available for you to come into the next map. And whenever we get that ready, well, here it is. There's the map pool. That's what we're seeing. We're headed to Shambali.
Yeah, I'm very excited. This is kind of what I was expecting. Probably going to be expecting that Sigma, probably some Widow out of Hey I'm Zero. Again, it's just going to come down to, can these hit scans pick up these picks and set their teams up for victory? We saw Ham Zero do it very well on Junkertown, but then Captain Jack really started to apply pressure, especially on the offense for MME, and Ham Zero's effectiveness was definitely taken away, but Hopeful came through on the Tracer and really set things up. So it's just been a nice little trade-off. These DPS are kind of like taking their turns. Like, it's almost like, kind of like Jordan and Pippin. It's like, okay, now it's Jordan's turn to take over. Okay, now Pippin's got to do it.
Yes, of course. Yes, as we are headed into Shambali, and this is not really what I was expecting at all from either of these two teams. I normally
You're telling me
this as a, a spoke map, maybe Ramatra instead of Sigma, but this is what we're seeing, it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you don't see Sigma, it's normally Ramatra, and we're seeing Reinhardt. So I guess that's not so far fetched, because like, if you're not as good at Ramatra, then you would just replace the Ramatra with a Reinhardt. Maybe that was nope. Okay, so an MME is going to continue to play this composition that got them back in this series, which I cannot blame them at this point. But it's going to be tough. Like we mentioned, this Reaper is still on the field.
Yeah, the Reaper's still on the field, but it didn't really seem to matter previously. It's got to make a difference, though, for Red Team here and now, because like you said, they don't want to tempt fate. They need to complete their destiny here and now, and well, it looks to start things off well starting things off well as Red Team.
And that was just full on pure adulterated aggression coming out of Red Team. They just said, we're gonna speed boost and charge into your face, and it's your job to stop us. And MME just could not. So great job from Red Team playing this composition to a T. We got to see more of it, though.
Yeah, as they've already taken so much space here. They almost completed point number 1, but Hopeful so low. Worth getting low as well, as the Shatter does connect, but Leo goes flying, so there's no real follow-up that can be found from Red Team. They are still making the push. They are still getting progress, as Worth finds Captain Jack with a pin. What the okay, that's something indeed, as they now come in here. Ryan Guy very low. Still, the point not being captured, as Worth still finds another pin kill. Bonnie with the primal rage, as Captain Jack might have done everything they need to hold on for the time being.
They have those key ultimates coming out from MME. It cost them absolutely everything, but getting this hold was crucial. Half the time taken off the clock. Red Team, however, gets to come back in, 4 ultimates in their pocket. The thing I worry about Red Team is they've been in situations where they have committed too many ultimates, and this second point is very hard to take. You have to have ultimates conserved for the second point attack.
Yeah, definitely is. Worth is going to get low. The Death Blossom booped perfectly away from Evergreen, but the sound barrier might be enough to keep everyone up and stabilized, but maybe not. The Shatter does come out, though. They need to find more picks, and things aren't fully in control for Red Team right now. They've got to find more, and they do get that health pack, does Worth, so that could be the all they know. Worth just keeps on charging it from Narnia and finding every pick that they possibly needed, as Hopeful and Zero clean things up on point.
Yeah, as that recall has now been forced out of Captain Jack, and that is going to be the point cap. But as I mentioned, very costly for Red Team, but at that point, they kind of had to. If they didn't commit all those ultimates, they would not have won. So, to me, that's different. Like, committing all 4 unnecessarily would have been bad. That they don't cap that point if they don't use all those ultimates. As Hopeful is taken down by Evergreen, who got a little too aggressive, too big for his britches.
Yeah, Hopeful does go down, but they get back pretty quickly. The losing Ricky, however, is the nail in the coffin for this push. It should be, as they just have to reset here.
That they will, but hey, I'm Zero is getting very close. This pulse to this EMP, but Hopeful wins the Tracer duel.
Tracer duel coming in for Hopeful now. Mighty going down. The sound barrier invested a little bit too late. They do take Ryan Guy out, but in the end, still, Red Team find the picks they need to continue pushing.
Oh man, this is getting rough. The good thing is the spot Red Team is in right now is very dangerous. It's like probably the strongest defensive holding spot for MME. Good thing is they have 4 ultimates to commit here, and the EMP is the big one. That can set things up and bring this point B home for them.
As the EMP is just gonna connect to Bonnie here. The shatter comes through, though, laying down 3, and the follow-up is there from the rest of Red Team to hold on through the Kitsune rush of MME dive.
Gotta make sure they get these last 2. They cannot afford to let them stagger it out too long. Okay, that is good. They're going to get this across the board. Now the stocks for Red Team feeling a little bit stronger. I mean, getting past that point B is a very big step, specifically on Shambali. We're gonna have a pulse bomb battle between Captain Jack and Hopeful now.
Yeah, well, Jack does find Zero out. The pulse bomb comes through from Hopeful. Gonna be dropped, though, like a bad habit, and not find anything for them. Zero has made the swap over to the Bastion now to get some extra frontline damage, extra pressure onto Bonnie, who's made the swap over to the Reinhardt as the pulse bomb comes through. Not gonna find anything but the immortality field, but there is the follow-up, and that should be enough for MME to start their hold yet again.
Yeah, that pulse bomb may have not found anything, but as you mentioned, it forced out the immortality field, and that allowed Leo to get that rail shot kill with no immortality field in play. As now MME looking very comfortable. They have, now that Red Team had to use a full cycle of ultimates, they are now in the driver's seat when it comes to the ult economy. Have that overclock, that amplification matrix, as like you mentioned, hey, I'm Zero's on the Bastion now, so that's a whole new ult charge you have to build up.
Yeah, they do, however, go down, and no ultimates needing to be used from MME Dive, but in the midst of all that, ultimates being built up from Red Team as the Shatter gonna be used by Worth, though, gonna get that, the headshot kill onto Evergreen, but, not anything more, but they still are making progress here.
As we're rounding about to the final minute on the clock, MME, look at all those blue check marks, 5 of them.
Yeah, and they seem to be using all, at least almost all 5, as Worth takes Leo for a ride, though. They do win the fight, but again, they used 3 ultimates in that fight here, Ray. That's probably not ideal.
You know, I don't think it's that bad, Joker, because you got that amplification matrix out of Ricky, and they didn't have a lot of ultimates to begin with this. Ricky is now on the Ana, hoping to punish this aggression from MME with some antis.
Yeah, they're just gonna use the Shatter coming in here as well. Things should be over. 30 seconds to go, but there is still definitely a chance for a fight to be happening.
Yeah, there's a chance. The good thing for Red Team, you're gonna have basically a sound barrier that you can use to sustain your team through the fight, or if you want to be engaged and get extremely aggressive. And hey, I'm Zero's getting really close to that artillery strike, and MME doesn't have any ultimates. They had to use all of them these last 2 fights.
Yeah, and they get the touch there as well, so this is confirmed at least 1 more fight to go for Red Team. They've got the artillery strike available, the sound barrier available as well, as the artillery strike comes through, forcing back the positioning from MME, as now the sound barrier can be used to ingress on to them as a nice anti-nade comes in, takes down Bonnie. This should be that. They do find Zero out, but Hopeful's just doing all the work they need for the work of two, perhaps, as they get the team kill. They've made the swaps, though. Can they get the touch here is the question. They get there in the end, but they can't do much. The shatter comes through. They don't get anyone with it, and Hopeful's gone down and out now. Things are looking a little bit more and more rough as the worth is super low. The nano boost does get built up in time. Ricky's now gone, however, so things are not as safe as it once was, but in the end, Zero finding two and cleaning things up. Red team complete all 3 points.
Yeah, after dying on that Bastion, swapping over to the Sombra to get back faster, those hacks came in, but the saving grace was as he's like falling to the heavens. He died, Ricky, but right before he shot that nano straight into Worth Shatter, and that gave him the sustain he needed to be able to help Zero get the cleanup and finish that point off. Red team now has their win condition. Just don't allow MME to cap all 3 points, and you walk away champions. If you're MME, it's a little bit of a tougher hill. Not only do you have to cap all 3 points, but you're going to have to go through extras and get even more distance than they will in extras.
Yeah, well, now we do see an interesting strategy that could be coming out here from Red Team. They might be coming for the Dorado hold, the Route 66 hold.
The Havana hold.
Well, no, not the Havana hold. That's different. This, however, is a cheeky little strat that you can only see on Route 66 and Dorado and Shambali, as we shall be seeing that coming in from them.
You're going to have to explain this one to me, because I'm not sure what's different.
Well, here's the thing, Ray. As you see, Red Team currently in that little cafe. If you did not know, you can contest the cart from that room.
Okay, I see what you're... Okay, I get how it's slightly different.
Yes, so that's the whole idea here, keeping this cart for as contested as long as they can, through the use of May and Reinhardt, as they're going to come in looking to come through. Captain Jack has to be the one to dislodge them, but it's going to be just quite difficult. Hopeful coming in very low, but they just have not been able to break through this just yet. But now they might have gotten far enough away. No, they still have not. They're still buying time, buying more and more time, as the Amp Matrix is going to come in from Ricky now, and they're going to be able to find out Evergreen, and that's going to help them start this hold yet again.
Yeah, as their only way of trying to unhinge Red Team from this room is trying to get Captain Jack to go behind and poke someone out. But Red Team is doing a great job between Ricky, Ryan Guy, and occasionally Hopeful of just spamming enough damage through the back door to not allow Captain Jack to be able to push through.
Worth is going to go down. No, the Soundbeer there in time. But, well, now they're in a Winston's playground who's primaling, as that's finally going to open things up. But that's a lot of time off the board here for MME.
Not only a lot of time, but you forced a pulse bomb and the primal just to get them out of there. So now Red Team gets to come back. They have a blizzard. They have a high noon, getting close to shatter. It's tough roads ahead for MME. They got to hope this Kitsune rush gets them across the line.
As they now come in here, the Deadeye from Zero just forcing a positioning away. The Kitsune rush comes in from Mighty, but they aren't finding picks because they're able to stave them off and wait for that to die down. Leo does have this overclock. That's going to be the opening that they probably needed, but the Blizzard is going to just find out Bonnie, and that's just going to buy more time for Red Team.
They do get a consolation prize of getting, hey, I'm 0. I was going to say maybe they want to push back in here, but they've just dropped and lost Leo. So this has to be a complete reset, as now we've lost about 75% of your time if you're MME. Good thing is you got the Blizzard out, no high noon. You're looking at just an amplification makes just in a shatter. You have pulse, you have sound barrier, and you have overclock. This is your opportunity. You got to bring this home right now.
Oh, Mighty gonna go down. They might not even have to invest any ultimates. Hopeful does fall as well. But again, that's manageable for Red Team right now. They don't have to use the ultimates that they've had built up, and they can build up to more as well for this last fight that's gonna probably come in.
As we see Bonnie making a last-minute swap. No more Winston on the field. They've said, all right, we can't make this happen, especially with the Reaper on the board now. We're going to match you in the Reinhardt and hopefully beat you at your own game.
Well, they've got to... I'm assuming the swap is to block Worth's Shatter. That is what needs to happen here. The recall's coming out. The overclock coming through. Leo very low. The sound barrier's coming in. Responses, the Shatter's there. That might be it. It seems to be the case, as this should be Red Team's fight as they find all the remaining kills. As CGL is painted red. Red Team are your open tier champions.
Whew! Very well done by Red Team as they win console open tier, man. They win that old battle, EU versus NA. Today, NA takes the cake and the trophy, as that was just a banger of a series. 4-2 to Red Team, and my condolences to MME. You guys played incredibly well. Nothing to not be proud of, and but congratulations, Red Team. You proved why you're one of the best.
Yeah, they definitely did, and I believe we are going to head to a short little break before we get an interviewee in here from Red Team. Don't go anywhere. The interview with Red Team right after this.
Yep.
Back here with Worth Shatter in the booth with us. Worth, first of all, congratulations on winning the console open tier. All right. So let's talk about, first of all, what was going through your head in that last fight, especially after kind of being a bit of a I'll say a cancerous comp or decision on the defense, but you got them down to about 40 seconds, and then everything there is from history. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ice block wall, and we just basically just drain time, and it'll usually give you about a minute and a half, maybe two, anywhere between a minute and a half and 2 minutes and 30 seconds worth of draining the clock. Mm-hmm. And once we saw our time bank, we knew it was ready to we were ready to rumble because they swapped to the Rhine, and like last fight, we knew it was over because we had window. Yeah, no, we had full confidence whole time. I mean, MME is a very good team. Everyone on their team's very good. I think they're a very, very good team, especially for console. They are a very good team, and everyone on their team's a good player.
Yeah, they definitely are. As I want to talk about one of your good players. It seemed like Hopeful continued to dominate the Tracer duel. Did that help you guys find the confidence after maybe dropping a couple of maps maybe you shouldn't have?
Yeah, I mean, he's Hopeful, or I call him Dankest or Leo, whatever, because I knew him I've known Dankest for coming up 6-7 years. So I have full confidence in him. Like, even now, he's at a new location spending time with his significant other. So he was like on really high ping. Even then, I had no doubt in him whatsoever, because, you know, he's basically the console VIP, to be honest, because he very good player, went to PC, got contenders on Doomfist, hit rank 1, same as I. We both hit rank 1 on PC our first seasons of going PC. So yeah, full confidence in everyone on my team, to be honest. There wasn't a full confidence everywhere.
Yeah, that was very incredible, very flexible, you guys, in general. We saw Reinhardt compositions coming out of you guys. We saw Sigma. We saw Diva. The interesting thing was when I saw you guys pick Shambali, I thought it was going to be a similar, situation to how Junkertown went, where you guys would play Sigma, have Hey, I'm Zero basically pop off on the Widow. But we did not expect you guys to go full Reinhardt, especially on the attack. What was the decision on that?
Practically, since Shambali's a lane-based map, and we know the enemy tank only plays Reinhardt and Winston practically. I mean, he can swap to other stuff like Sig, but primarily Bonnie wants to be kept on the Winston or the Rhine. And since Shambali's a lane-based map, I feel, at least on console, I mean, maybe on PC, some form of Ball Zen or Sigma Zen would farm rush, but that's not what they play. So we figured if they go Rhine, we beat them in the Rhine mirror. And if they go Winston, we just AFK in the room, run Reaper, and just clear point. That's practically the goal, is just clear point and pave our way to the third point.
Yeah, one thing I do want to give a little head nod to for you, man. I think we don't see this every day, but within the entire series, I believe you pinned Captain Jack 2 times.
Oh my goodness.
That is ridiculous. I actually couldn't believe that. How are you such a maniac on these pins, man? It just seems like every time you flew in, you got someone.
Yeah, no, I actually was, especially on the last map there. Every time because the thing was, on King's Row, we were comp gapped. That's why I believe we lost King's Row, because they had a Sojourn. Sojourn just pumped so much damage into Rhine. It just so much pressure on me to hold my shield for when I need it, or take space when I need to, because I know if I drop shield, I'm either getting critted, my BAP's getting critted, someone on the team's gonna die to rail if I drop my shield. So I just figure I'm gonna learn from King's Row. I'm not gonna hold my shield and run away. I'm just gonna run in and just pin in so he can't farm rail off of me. It's either he slides away or I pin him. So that's just what I did. And plus they're on Winston, they can't really explode me. So I'm sort of like a kind of like dropping a nuke, honestly, into their team and seeing how they react to it.
All right, I don't want to hold you too much longer, so I'm gonna give you this time to shout out what your team, whatever you really feel like.
Shout out everyone on my team, obviously. Ricky, Dankus, Ryan Guy, Zero, Snake, all those guys, Coach, Minnie, just basically everyone on my roster. Everyone participated throughout the season. Everyone did a good job. We had some new friends, new picks, and we even sort of like collaborated in a sense because I'm not sure if you guys remember, but there was a console team named 88s. We got a couple of their players on our roster now since they're only on PC. So a couple of their console guys play for us now, such as Coach and Mini Destroyer. Shout out those guys. But yeah, that's basically it. I mean, super good game. I think it was a good game, honestly. Good series.
Yeah.
Everyone had a lot of fun. I mean, sure, the last strategy there, I mean, obviously I cooked that up because I'm devious. You know, I know Tryhard Ray knew. He saw that comp. He knew who exactly did it. I think he knew who did it.
I knew the brains behind that.
Yeah, it's funny though. I mean, it's kind of cancer, but I mean, a win's a win. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Like, it's in the game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Especially for the bread. So we're gonna let you go. Also, good luck with Open Division that starts today. Hopefully, we'll see Gambit in Contenders coming soon.
Yeah, of course.
But we're gonna let you go celebrate with your the rest of your team and get warmed up for Open Division.
All right, sounds good. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Shout out Tryhard Ray, my goat.
Yeah, appreciate it.
As that's going to be the interview there, and that's really about it for us, Ray. I mean, I don't think you have much more to say, unless you do.
No, again, just congratulations to Red Team. Both teams, MME, Red Team, that was an incredible showcase of what console has to offer. So I'm just proud caster.
Yeah. So this is going to be it from us. Tomorrow is kind of a tumultuous evening. We had to make another channel because there are going to be 3 grand finals tomorrow. Be on the lookout for those. But you won't see me. I'll be doing Open Division. But you'll see
me because I'm doing Open Division in the morning.
So that's going to be it for me and Ray. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for Gatago stepping in last minute to do the production for this. Without him, we would not have this stream. So that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching. Peace out. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Later.
Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave.
You do.